coming, gravity 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 coming. Lift it up, give it up, that truth, my brothers know you ain't nothing but so good. Trick Daddy in the house, girl is better, watch him out. P-E-R-T and yours truly, Captain.
Never home on the street home. Into the store with the butt cheeks showing like a fly, but the hammer nails done up in. And that cool son of ones I like to run up in. Like big booty ones, cute faces. Living running thin on the first day basis. Crash break, cause you kick game straight. X no dime with the diamond ain't place on. Or when the Panther says some dimes game. Keep the fella stand when you land on the camera. Or skip your stuff to get the brothers looking at you. When the wrong says she can show off a tattoo. Even if you're mad at you player, she ain't giving up the skins even if it's try player. Say not the money on your home with the soap. Come and get the scats on, we can keep it on the low.
Yo, yo, yo. It's Figured Out Tuesdays, people. How y'all doing? I guess y'all all right.
I can't hear you.
I'm good.
I mean, I thought I had Lab in the building.
Sorry, I'm busy. Okay,
on the
go ahead,
ones, twos, threes,
Yeah.
fours,
I just
and
met you,
fives.
but you ain't been drinking it.
Nah, I ain't been
All right.
Okay.
'Cause I want to know if I need to catch up.
Right. We got Reek in the building. Trap guard. Hey, look. Entertainment lawyer. Actress agent. And I'm talking about nothing but A-list. And she's also the producer. And she is the momentum behind the show. And she typically tells me no, or when I can and cannot come over here. She's all of that. That's my girl.
She was an advocate for midgets.
She might be, because, you know, she got them thighs, and they like them.
Man. I like that. I think it was Chris Rock. Somebody said, I don't need a comfort animal. I don't need a CNI dog. I need a CNI midget. They need work, too.
Or you can put them bitches on your back so
You
you
put
have
them on
eyes
your
in the
back.
back of your head.
You can walk on it.
I got eyes in the back of my head.
They sneak up on me.
I got eyes. I got eyes in the back of my head.
I got the new shorty low
Right.
with me.
This fool says shout it low. All right, good people. Got another guest in the building today. Lucky to have him because his name is Lucky. Lucky White.
How's
He in the
everybody?
building. This is actually my cousin. What's up, Reggie Garrett? I owe you something. Lucky is my cousin on Chico Cuban side. Right.
In case y'all didn't know that there was some Hispanic folks that had a little bit more color in them than Mark Rubio.
Yeah. we are Afro-Cubans. So
Which I want to take issue with that name because you know
you don't like Afro-Cubans?
I don't like Afro-Cuban because
You like black Cubans?
I like black Cubans.
Right.
I like black Latinos.
I like that too.
You know, I like you know, whatever we can mash up.
But the
only
music
because,
is Afro-Cuban.
But that was an academic name that some white person gave
Came
it.
up.
Where's Afroland? Why the hell where's Afroland?
I don't know.
I don't know. That shit don't make no
never heard
sense.
that
I'm
shit.
gonna
Not to
start a
me.
movement.
I'm
We
just
gotta stop
saying.
using it.
Mm.
I like the way that sounds. We're gonna start a movement. We're gonna stop using it. That's right. That sounds like a t-shirt or a hook.
Okay, and as you can see, he is full of everything. Rockalita just checked in.
Oh, baby girl.
Hola, mama. So basically, this is my brother, half cousin, half brother. And then Rockalita, she is my half cousin, half sister. So that makes her a sister. Ricky, you never heard of nothing like
the
that?
man, half amazing. Hey, we in the house. Let's do something.
I'm just saying. These my people. Okay. So
Raquel, am I cheesing too hard?
Rockalita, let us know.
Oh, that's my wife. Hold
That's
on.
his wife.
Let me
His
stop.
real wife.
Let me stop for a second.
Yeah.
Let me stop for a second and tell her how much I love her.
Tell her what she means to you.
Baby, let me tell you something.
This some foolery.
I told my mama and my daddy today. We was talking to them. We were talking about the tax issues that
Right.
you're helping me out with. I said, she might put me out, but I ain't leaving on my own. I ain't going nowhere. We've been married. I think it's 31 years.
And then, but how long y'all
August.
been together?
We've been together since 82.
They were high school sweethearts.
And she knew my great grandfather before I knew her.
Because they belonged to
a black social club,
in
Cuban club. in
Matia
Tampa.
Marcel.
And, he was president for over 30-something years. And as a niche community within Tampa, when the black Cuban community did something, they always did it in this spot.
In the hall, in the Cuban
so
hall.
it was always a lot of families there. And maybe as a kid, you didn't know all the other kids. You knew some. I knew my wife's older brother.
Which
I
one?
knew Orlando. I knew.
What about Charles?
Charles is younger than us.
Charles, if you were watching, please check in because I would just love to hug up on you
Let me
for
let me get a
5
whiff of it.
minutes. Eureka.
And
She
he-
don't know about
and he
this.
can cook a Cuban pork like
What
nobody
you
business.
say? Let me tell you something. Charles,
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Next time
they
we
have
do
to
something,
go
I'm
to.
gonna let
They
you
have
know.
to come to Noche Buena.
Yeah, well, we putting a limit on that from now on.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
but I'm gonna get us some.
You gonna get it? No, his wife Didi can kill it. She makes the pollo con arroz, and then she make the black beans with the plantain.
So I tell you what, that experience you was talking about the black Cuban community, and as I was saying earlier, I think a lot of people need to hear more often and be aware of more often the fact that there are some black folks that just happen to be Cuban or Puerto Rican or Dominican or whatever. Now, a lot of those folks don't want to be black.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Now,
you heard it, Reed.
and I'm gonna argue two sides of that.
here we go.
All right, because what I think a lot of black folks, and I just take the experience of my mother growing up in a black or in a Latin community.
Right. Chico mama grew up with his mama. They sisters.
Right, they sisters. And so they grew up in a particular section of Tampa, Ybor City, which is about the size of old Fourth Ward. All right, but that's where all your immigrants moved to.
Right.
So from like the 1880s on to the 1950s, anybody, primarily Sicilians, Spaniards, Cubans, Germans, were living in this area. Now I'm gonna say all of that to say this: that was one of the most racially diverse and multicultural places that people work side by side, live side by side, and for the most part shop side by side, unless you stepped out of that area. Now, what changed it was urban renewal, interstate system, and whatnot. So when they built I-4, that goes from Tampa to Orlando,
They split it down the middle.
it split up the residential portion of this area, and so now the black Cubans got to go live in Belmont Heights, Jackson Heights with the rest of the black folks, which created a situation that at 12 years old, my mama met my daddy.
And that was the problem.
And then that created a generation of black folks with a Latin heritage that didn't necessarily practice it.
Okay.
Language, last name, and all that sort of stuff. So I say that to say this.
His last name White.
I say that to say this. That black Latin community, as they integrated with the black community, black folks will say, oh, they think they cute, or they think they better because they
light skin.
They this, they don't, they do that. But see, what I think over time, some folks began to realize, and it took me a while to realize this, that culture ties people more so than race. You'll get black folks to come over here from Haiti, black folks come over from Jamaica, and they don't necessarily connect with you in the same way.
Right.
Because it's a different culture.
Okay, but tell the truth though. No lie. Black Dominicans and the Haitians.
Well, Dominicans ain't nothing but confused Haitians.
Wait. That island is split down the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what part of hell did the Dominicans not get?
That Haiti got?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because
it
if
was
you
all
ever
about who-
notice, an earthquake will just hit Haiti. For whatever reason, the Dominican don't feel it. Same island, same water.
Well, now I'm going to take a guess at something.
Hurricane.
I'm going to take a guess at something.
No, hurricane, look.
Okay,
Hurricane.
but when something hits Haiti,
It don't hit the
what
Dominican.
most people don't realize, so let's say the storm hits that same area. The reason I think Haiti, and I'm just theorizing, I'm just guessing at this, The reason I think Haiti gets hit harder than the Dominican is what most people don't realize. There's almost no trees in Haiti.
Okay, wait.
Deforestation, or if I'm saying that right, the lack of trees created a lack of a buffer.
Okay, so wait, because he a little too deep. And I kept telling him, my viewers don't look at the news.
They be on the
They
news.
be on the news.
All right.
So,
Shout out to Zay Cash since you mentioned that.
yeah, shout out to everybody that's viewing us from Lee Street.
Wright Street.
Yeah, Wright Street and
If
beyond.
you snuck a phone in your ass to get in the lockup and you got it on right now,
We want to
we
shout
with
you out. You know, we appreciate y'all logging in, talking about the Wi-Fi signal low, but y'all still got it.
Niggas a little smelly, but you watching us.
That's all we care about.
All right.
That's what we care about. We don't care about nothing else. Now,
I'm sorry, mama.
no, we not. So, okay, but no. So some cool things about Lucky is, no, wait a minute. I got a good question. What makes me your favorite cousin?
Oh, I mean, it's just your personality.
Everything.
It's your personality. It's personality. We love you.
That's why I'm a sister. Okay. So, but no, what do you do?
Well, I own the Georgia Sentinel News, GeorgiaSentinelNews.com.
That's a part of Savant Media.
Savant Media. My father started the publication in '89.
Okay. Did you have one before that?
No, we were affiliated with a couple of papers. The Florida Sentinel
Right.
in Tampa, which is a close friend of ours, the Andrews family.
Okay.
Paper's been around for over 80-something years.
Right.
And I got some of my training, and when my father started this, I worked very closely with a guy by the name of Garth Reeves that owned the Miami Times.
Okay.
So learned a little bit from them and spent some time over in
In Will.
in
Magic City.
No, that would have been Onyx down there at that time.
Okay. Oh, and I remember that.
At that time.
Best friend check in.
Miami, right.
I knew the guy that used to own Onyx.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a different kind. But see, we'll get into this later. But see, Miami was a different kind of place in the 80s.
It sure was.
And
wasn't it?
so, I tell people all the time.
Same
if
day,
you
this
was in
man
South
said,
Beach,
"Do you want to get on my boat and go to Jamaica? It's just gonna take 2 hours." I said, "Let me think about it."
if you was on South Beach in the 80s, you was either an old Jewish person living in a hotel, you was a crackhead or a transvestite prostitute. Wasn't nobody hanging out at South Beach in the 80s. It just
Where was you at?
wasn't happening.
Were you hanging out in South Beach?
No, I didn't spend a lot of time in Miami.
I would say late 80s, early 90s. Shout out to Lisa Odom for making sure that first trip to Miami happened. And then best friend, she from Miami, and I was down there then. But unfortunately, good people, as we have talked about before, this is the closest to Florida you gonna see my ass in, because I'm not going. I'm not going back down to the Slammer. Not happening. I don't think they heard of it because they never. Let me tell you something.
I'm familiar with it, and I've known a person or two to be affected by it in over the years. But I will say this: Florida in the news of the last 20 years is something different than what I grew up with.
That's how I feel about Atlanta.
Florida in the news,
like old Atlanta ain't what it used to be.
Especially the last 10 years. But let me also remind folks of some stuff that may not just jump right out at a lot of people. It's more people in the state of Florida than Georgia, North, and South Carolina together. It's almost like 25 million people in the state of Florida.
Yes, he is from Florida,
All right?
Demetrius.
So you got
He knows all the
Jacksonville
stats.
as a major city, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale as major cities. You got 5 major cities in one state.
Sarasota? Is that major?
No, that's Sarasota.
I like Sarasota,
it
actually.
It's very pretty.
It's beautiful.
Sarasota is like the equivalent of.
If you keep going south of Sarasota, what's that? What beach is that?
Well, you start getting over into a.
It's a beautiful beach with a bunch of beautiful houses. I mean, it's gorgeous, and it's on the Gulf of Mexico. It's gorgeous, but you will never ever in your life see me down in that motherfucker again.
We'll work on that.
Now, but you're working on several documentaries.
Well, I have two one that I'm in the process of editing and need some help with some of it. So I might be talking to you on one of the things. But I'm also doing one in
Hey,
conjunction with my daughter and Georgia State University. And that is about food deserts and the challenges of a lot of people in the metro area in particular, access to quality food, just basic grocery stores, not to mention quality
Right.
foods. So that's something that the
Which is a
Sentinel-
big issue for me.
So
Right.
that's something that we're doing in conjunction with Georgia State. And then I've already shot one called The Black Latinos of Ybor, which we were referencing this section of town in Tampa. And we're going to, start doing that editing.
Move closer to the microphone, Lucky. Jacinta
Okay.
sounds better.
So we're gonna start doing that, or hopefully get closer to finish with that editing. But the Georgia Sentinel, GeorgiaSentinelNews.com. Since you said your people are on the news,
Yeah, they
all
can
right, let me
look
go
at
ahead.
your news.
Well, let me go ahead and spell Sentinel then. SENTINEL. All right, Georgia Sentinel,
Not
not
AL.
Centennial, like
Right.
Centennial Park. All right,
Sentinel.
Georgia Sentinel, SENTINEL, Georgia Sentinel News. Since I reminded of who we're talking to,
Because it's a name.
because it's the name of it. That's right. So we printed for 26 years.
Okay.
All right, and so for the last 6 years or so,
We've been online.
we've been online, and it's been interesting. I tell people all the time we're starting to shoot more video and have more video content because just like the people that's
Right.
watching the show, people would rather watch a sermon than
right,
read a
than to
sermon.
read it.
Is being online more cost effective?
It
A
is
lot of papers are
definitely more
going
cost
online.
effective. I mean, from a print and build to distribution to paper costs,
And
gas
exposure,
costs.
probably exposure to
know,
a lot more people.
Yeah, we have an
Yeah.
opportunity to reach more people. So it's been
Did you say gas costs?
yeah,
Deliver the paper.
deliver the paper.
Oh,
Yeah. So, it's a lot of little ancillary costs that a lot of people don't think about. And but I will say this. For that audience that still likes to feel,
yeah,
pick up
the
and see,
newspaper.
in the new year, we're going to print a quarterly edition.
Oh,
Just to really
I didn't know this.
we're gonna print a quarterly edition to get at some of those people. But what we're doing different is instead of it being every week, we're doing it quarterly, and we're doing select zip code home delivery.
So, what neighborhood?
We're gonna decide that.
West Side?
Oh, we gotta get some of the west side. We gotta get Camp Creek, Campbellton. We gotta get South DeKalb. We gotta
Your
get
sister
some
said you
areas
gotta
in the
sit up.
metro, and so there are some things, and we'll start back doing some limited printing.
You can
It's,
put that pillow behind you to get
Yeah,
that.
to give you
get
some
that.
extra
Okay.
Yeah,
support.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm getting old. My back ain't what it used to be.
There you go. There
Don't
you
tell my
go.
wife that. But
DD, check in if he's still
yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, what happening? That's what my
who
people
that?
say.
Who that? What's
They're
happening?
my friend. They're Rika. What happened?
What up, folks?
Yeah, what
So,
happened?
here's
And
the
they
thing.
spell it AANIN.
I like that.
happening.
All right. Well, you know what? We got our own language.
Okay.
Black folks is bilingual.
You think so?
Yeah, black folks is bilingual. We could say something around white folks and talk to each other, and they won't even know what we're talking about.
You think they understand trap?
No.
Do you think any other race understands
Yeah,
trap?
I mean,
Who?
you got your individuals
Such
that have
as
spent time around black folks.
enough.
They one-offs. They here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Becky.
And they when you find one of them, though,
They are
they more
keepers.
gutter than you could ever be.
Yeah, I was about to say they are
because they
keepers.
trying hard.
Hey, Reek.
They trying hard.
Y'all know Reek is the charge master.
So if you got there's a group of rappers I used to hang out with, and there was this one white boy named Zoo Atlanta. All right,
You know
white
him, Reek.
boy.
Reek
You
talking
know
about
Zoo?
yeah.
All right, so white boy with dreads. I mean, he was as gut as, I mean, he could flow like nobody's business on the mic.
Right.
But like I said, when you find one
Zoo
of them,
Atlanta.
Zoo Atlanta.
Huh.
When you find one of them, oh boy could go.
Could go.
Yeah, man, old boy could go. He was keeping up with the best of them. So
Do it like
I ain't gonna hate him. I grew up with some white boys.
Was it that black folks thought he was trying too hard? That's why he didn't
Well,
expand on that.
but see, here's the thing, just to get a little philosophical about people like that. See, when you got black
philosophical
folks,
is a big word.
that's
Gotta
a big
break
word.
that down. Break that down.
Break that down. I'm gonna give you my theory on a couple of
Okay,
things.
theory's another wrong word.
That's another wrong
too
word.
Much SAT.
All right. Well, I just want y'all to feel what I'm about to say. All right.
I want y'all to feel.
All right. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all just lost a gay preacher on this show, but I'm gonna put hands on you folk for a minute. I ain't calling nobody out, but y'all, we talked about this before the mic got on. But hey, man, people wasn't putting money in. They wasn't passing the plate like they needed to. But
that was alleged.
Allegedly.
That's allegedly.
That's what we say in the press sometimes. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I
can't believe
I've used that word with my wife once or twice. Now, allegedly, baby.
Allegedly. I was looking at his
Right.
wallet.
You gonna believe me, and you gonna believe your lying
why
eyes.
you up
What
there
they say?
trying to say, no, like Chico would be like, I wasn't looking at her ass. Well, guess what? I wasn't looking at her wallet.
Well, see, I'm gonna show you how that plays out over time, right? You was with us when we walked out the IRS office the other day.
Yeah.
We walked in the parking lot, and I told my wife, "Look, what?
There go ass." That's all he saw was an
It
ass,
was
and she
big,
was Latina.
bubbly, and I ain't,
And Didi has the cutest shape, so I'm trying to understand him. I mean,
well,
and she look like she know how to twerk.
Well, she tries.
and
Alex,
you know what?
Alex
Can twerk.
Yeah, you know
that's,
what?
That's his child.
And
she twerks.
I love my daughter, and I'm proud of my daughter, and I will say this: she done learned some things that I'm glad the house is as together as it is. I'm glad the support in the extended family is as good as it is, because I would hate to see my oldest if it wasn't, because I know she could go out there and get it if she wanted to. All right? But fortunately, by the grace of God,
Pulling
the West Side, because they'll show her how to do it.
Right.
Man,
Okay.
let me tell you
Wait.
something.
Lab, tell him your philosophy on bitches from the West Side. What they do?
They gonna fuck you out or something.
Hey, yeah. I think that's a universal thing,
Yeah, if you're from the West Side, we're gonna be like, you know what? Let me get about $200, and tomorrow I'm gonna fuck you. But that's gonna happen tomorrow. Right.
So back in the 50s, there used to be this TV show, this character named Wimpy. And he said, I'd gladly pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today.
I think I know what you're talking about. But that's way before your time.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, it was still on.
It was still on? Oh, okay.
Did you ask when Demetrius Lord said, where did the Orlando Sentinel get its name?
Well, the Orlando Sentinel is Orlando's version of their white daily paper, like the Journal-Constitution.
Okay.
Now, where they got their name from, I'm not sure. But I think a lot of people, like when they hear the L.A. Sentinel or they hear the Orlando Sentinel, they may misinterpret one for being white, one for being black. The L.A. Sentinel is a black paper, and the Orlando Sentinel is a white paper, but the Florida Sentinel is a black paper.
Kind of like Atlanta Daily World, Reed.
Which, is pretty much out of business except for online here lately.
Okay.
Shout out to Portia. Yeah. Well, it's when you do it and how you do it, because some of the traditional papers of Atlanta, the Atlanta Daily World being one of them, and I got a lot of respect for the Atlanta Daily World.
I was about to say they called.
Yeah, I mean, they were the first Atlanta
Like,
Daily. They
seriously.
were the first daily
Right.
publication. And Old Man Scott, that owned it,
How he know all these people?
used to be a part, just to give you a little piece of history, used to be a part of an organization called the 100% Wrong Club. And that was an organization that would vote on the black college version of the Heisman. And
Did y'all know this?
Yeah, so Old Man Scott originated that group. and that a group awarded my father an award of the 100% Wrong Club. I think it was
Okay.
like maybe in 67.
Okay, right.
Because here's the point, and I think if I have my history right, they were a group of guys that got together to watch sport events, bet on sports events, or whatever, and they was always wrong on stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they gave themselves a little foolish name or whatever.
I like
you know,
it.
Shout out Florida A&M, Pocahontas Village, and
Pocahontas
the Rattlers. Well, it was a facility where married people lived that had children, where my parents were.
So I was about to say, your people did that.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so do you want to tell them who your dad is?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, as we was talking about
What?
the paper,
Hey, Chico.
Chico, where you at?
He right there.
You right there. Hey,
Just-
bro.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. How you doing? I ain't rubbing up on your girl, but I'm rubbing up on your girl. Hey, man. So, as I said, you know, my father started the Georgia Sentinel.
But what else has he done?
Spent a lot of time working with James Brown.
Right.
Managed the tour of Marvin Gaye doing the Midnight Love tour and Sexual Healing album. Had worked with Marvin since 72. Had been working with James Brown since he was a kid, as my grandfather used to have a leg of what we call the Chitlin circuit. James Brown would play his clubs down in Florida, and they had a very special relationship, my grandfather and James Brown, which carried over to my father. And
And kind of carried over to you.
yeah, well, yeah. You know, one day when my oldest was born, he was over to my parents' house, and he was holding my daughter. She couldn't even been 1 year old.
How was his edges? that
You know,
day?
he's always been tight with that.
What?
He's always been tight. So he's sitting in the living room, and he looked at my pop. He said, "Mr. White, look at this. 4 generations of whites. I done been with your daddy, been with you, your son, and now I got a whole new generation here."
Right.
So
That's how he talk.
That's
too.
how he talk. Mr. White.
He's stupid. That's white.
So James Brown, I tell you, we hear a lot of stuff about James Brown. We hear the jokes. We hear
The movie was phenomenal.
We hear the salacious stuff, but whatever. But the thing that I think people should know was how revolutionary James Brown was as a social activist.
And then he kept a horn section.
James
that
Brain
damn
Brown told me
horn
one
section.
day, I asked him something about why he didn't do a lot of work with other bands, with other groups, with people like you see a lot of artists do today. He said, "Son, 2 things you never loan out. You never loan out your wife, you never loan out your band."
And he said it like that.
Yeah. So,
Son.
and so
What did he say, son?
what you realize is that through the jokes, through the bad press, we really missing an important piece of history when we talk about James Brown and all the stuff that he pioneered,
Yeah, I
and
believe
not
that.
just in music.
Just period.
You know,
Because let
in
me
a
tell
modern
you-
age of social activism for musicians.
Wait a minute. What's the name of the publication he put out? Is the August? Was it the Anchor?
I'm not sure.
No, it's the Anchor. And he says James Brown got on CNN High.
I
And
remember
this
that.
nut was having white problems.
He was having a whole
And so
bunch
she
of problems
said-
at that time.
She said, "Mr. Brown, are you and your wife, are y'all gonna get this straight, or what's going?" He told me, "Let's talk about some music."
Mm-hmm. But now think about what you just said. He may have been not in his right.
Not in his right. Let's
not
talk about
right
some
there,
music.
But he was focused enough to know.
He said, "I
We ain't
sing
talking about
good."
that.
He said, "I sing good. I look good. I smell good." He said, "And I make love good." These his people.
Mr. Brown was a very special person and taught me a lot. Was instrumental in helping to keep the Georgia Sentinel going during lean times. You know, there was many a Christmas and several other opportunities when he would just send a check and an ad. You know, and so
he do it?
we'll forever
He said he
be
would.
grateful for Mr. Brown and what he did, not only for us, but you know, when you learn a little bit about
Somebody.
somebody,
Right.
and in this case, an industry. You know, you got to look at it like this. One of America's biggest exports
It's crack.
is culture.
It's culture.
I said
And
crack.
with American,
Black culture is one of the most
No,
exported.
seriously. Now
Exactly.
that is no lie.
Exactly. And you can't have the history of that conversation and at some point not talk about James Brown.
Oh, you got to, you got to talk about James Brown when it comes to owning your own music, owning
That's
your
right.
own, label, owning your own.
And definitely making sure that your edges
It look
is
good.
on point.
Hey, man.
He gave Al Sharpton that look.
No, not only Al Sharpton, Morris Day and the Time,
What you say?
Little Richard,
Prince.
Prince,
I didn't know Prince.
Bruno
had that.
Mars,
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the edges.
Michael
that go
Jackson.
Yeah, again, we are going very deep. But we were talking about your daddy.
So,
But your daddy also did what?
he played professional football, played with the
He done it all.
Cincinnati Bengals, played with the Chargers, played with the Browns. Played with
Colorado.
the Broncos.
Right.
And so, has had
A very, very colorful life.
Colorful life. I like that.
Very colorful.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why Lucky name is
Yeah, he ain't dead yet. So
Lucky.
there's certain things we ain't gonna talk about.
we can't talk about it because it's
Alright.
allegedly.
Allegedly. I like that word.
Allegedly.
Let's talk about your audience though.
Let's talk about my audience. My audience, they love to hear the fact that I was locked up in Florida
Okay.
under the down act
Uh-huh.
and that I'm still in a hospital gown
Mm-hmm.
from my book that none of my family has read.
But have you thought about coming up with a lingerie line
Yeah. Why you
for
bullshit?
folks that's
In the
in the mental hospital?
Not
See,
for the
they
mental
give you that outfit, right? But you gotta show them
You
how to
gotta-
adapt
Okay,
it.
okay, kind of like.
But just because
My
I'm
girls-
catatonic over here don't
my
mean I don't really see
girls-
what's
wait a
walking
minute,
by.
Wait a minute. My girls that's locked up in the men population, but in a separate room, they make light of they correctional outfit. So basically what you're saying is if I hook that shit up with some Spanx and some lines in it,
No, see, you gotta make it.
Leggings.
You gotta make it functional and accessible to what they already got. So you're not really creating, although you could create a line so that when they get out, they could buy your stuff and still feel comfortable
In the
and
mental.
connected. But while they in,
lab done. This is what I'm saying to you. I don't
But you can
ever
call it-
want to wear none of the shit they gave me in that damn hospital.
well, it's just like a buddy of mine who spent a few years in. He said, I asked him one day, I
A
said,
few years in.
you want a piece of this honey bun? He said, man, don't ever offer me a goddamn honey bun or moon pie ever again. I don't care if I ever see that shit ever again.
Shout out to everybody that's putting money on the books out there for my people in
Speaking of money on the books, so like, hey, can somebody transfer me some money? Because I got a long ride home and I want to get me something to eat.
Good and faithful
But
black
here's the
card.
thing. What's this pedophile billionaire dude, Epstein?
Yeah.
So one of the things, and I told my mom and my sister and my wife, they was talking about, man, you got that kind of money, life for you gonna be easy in jail. I'm like, no, hell it ain't. You're gonna be a damn target in jail.
Not me.
Folks gonna be coming at you.
Not me.
They gonna be trying you every kind of way because they know you can put some money on their book.
Here's my thought on that.
So if your name
He
was
should
Jerry
have- no.
when you went in there, it's gonna be Jeri when you come out.
Let me say this, and this is the truth, and y'all know what I'm talking about. If Chapo could get out, this fool, no, he could.
No.
You jiving.
No.
Chapo had an underground.
Who did you tell
Train
me your
station
audience
with a-
was?
Nick Cop.
Hey Nick, what's happening, bro?
That's our cousin.
What's happening, bro?
Hola, Nicolos.
How you doing, man?
Hola, Mel. Hola, Kurt.
Hey man, look, Nick, listen to me, man. I need a devil crab. Somebody help me out with a devil
They
crab
do.
and a Cuban
Okay,
sandwich.
tell people what a
I
devil
can't
crab
tell
is.
people what a devil crab is.
That's
'cause
only you can only get
unless-
them in Tampa.
You can only get it in Tampa. It's nowhere you can go and
You
find
ever heard
this.
of a devil crab?
All right, so you seen a stuffed potato? It's a round, deep fried, oval shaped potato,
It
and it's
looks
got
like
meat on the middle, right?
It looks like an egg.
Well, this, instead of having the meat in the middle, and instead of it being a potato, it's dough made from Cuban bread, and
Right.
it's got
It's
crab
stuffed with
shalab
crab
meat
and-
in the middle.
Right.
So
And
like
they
you might
fry
have
it.
crab on your shredded crab on your pasta, except for it's in a ball in this deep
See,
fried
that's how
thing.
my people can't relate to this.
So-
They don't eat crab on the pasta.
Yeah.
That's exactly where you go.
Yeah,
When you
yeah,
are
so tell
in
Carmine
when
and
you
Gino I
are
said
in
hello.
Tampa, you have to go to La Teresita, that which is my favorite, or you can go to Carmine's. And Carmine's is where everybody gets the deviled crabs. But the Cuban bread inside of La Teresita. What?
Yeah.
We write about La Teresita in here. I didn't write
yeah?
anything about Carmine's.
Well, La Teresita is an older Latin place where Carmine is a couple guys
they got them
that I grew
guava
up
turnovers.
with that
That'll make
their
you shake
father and their
dance.
uncles was a part of a particular scene in Tampa. And
What kind of scene are we speaking of?
yeah, you know, Carmine and Gino Averoni, you know, like I said, it's a particular scene. But Carmine and Gino and I grew up together, and they ended up buying a lot of property in Ybor City and opening up a couple of restaurants. And
Kind of speaking easy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So if you understand speak easy, and then you combine that with an Italian name such as Carmine, blend that up with a little Espanol, then maybe you have the mafioso.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa's a different place. Like Ybor City in particular was a different
Now,
place
let me
that
say
way.
this about Tampa and Ybor City in particular. This is how you know you from Ybor City. This gonna trip you out.
Mm-hmm.
You take a shower and you put every piece of baby powder you got on your neck,
Mm-hmm.
and it gotta show.
Well, now I think that's a
And then you put on all this Cuban gold.
Florida thing of a particular age for one simple reason:
It was hot.
that heat and that humidity.
So let me just say
If you
this.
go in my mother-in-law's bathroom and you slap anything, powder gonna jump off.
Everywhere.
Powder's
Anybody,
everywhere.
anybody from Tampa, specifically black Cubans, Chico mama, check in. She the main one. I saw this lady at a bus stop one day, and I had to do a double take because I really thought it was Chico mama. She had so much baby powder and all this gold and what you call that thing on? The thing y'all like to wear. The St. Christopher. Is it St. Christopher?
No, it's not St. Christopher.
Who is it?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Guadalupe.
Raquel, mama, somebody.
Check in.
Yeah.
But they got on all this gold. Okay? Now, Chico told me, was it Abuela or someone else, that bought their townhouse in New York in gold.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my Weller. I mean, who that was, I'm not sure.
Who is that, Chico?
But it wasn't my Weller.
Anytime, wait a minute. Can't believe you're talking about Cynthia. Believe it. And, okay, so she says it's,
Nick said it's Saint
Asavachi.
Isidro.
yeah, that's what, okay,
It's
so.
what?
Saint Isidro or
Asashi,
Hold on. Asavachi
Asavachi.
is a ornament on a chain, but it's not Raquel. It's not the big
Racalita.
ornament that you're talking about. You're talking about a medallion.
No, all of them got it on. And then they got on all this gold.
All right, but
And
you're going to have a
got on all the baby
medallion.
powder.
All right, let me, just to put it in rappers' terms, the Jesus piece.
The Jesus piece.
All right,
However, comma, let me tell you what else you're going to see.
that's one thing.
The same chickens that was walking around in 1950 are still walking around
In
in
Ybor
Ybor
City.
City right now.
Yeah.
You can go down the street and chickens are still walking
And they got
down
right
the
away.
Yeah, they don't play.
They got right away. And everybody that lives in
Yeah.
that community know.
Fuck with one of them chickens.
Yeah, man, the Roosters run the place, man.
What?
You
It
know,
is real. It's
it's
zoo
two
Tampa.
things that you can find in Ybor City and Tampa.
A chicken.
You're going to find them roosters, and you can go to about 5 or 6 different places sitting in the window, and they'll roll you your own cigar right there.
Well, Nick said that y'all gotta go to La Segunda.
La Segunda.
La Segunda is good.
Yeah, La Segunda. That's the bakery.
La Segunda is
yeah,
good. And
my
Alessi
wife
is
used to work
good.
at La Segunda.
I like Alessi. Alessi, actually, they sell Alessi stuff in Publix.
Now, let me
So-
tell you about Phil Alessi.
Oh, so he know first name.
So, the Alessi family created the model of a bakery that you now see in Publix. So what you see is a layout, what you see how they present, so if you see their apple turnovers
They good.
and guava turnovers
They
and all of
good.
that basically came from the Alessi family on Cypress in Tampa, in West Tampa, and Phil Alessi and the founders of Publix over in Lakeland were really good friends.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So Phil Alessi, and there are certain, if
But
you
that
go,
guava turnover will make you shake.
if you go to Lacey, if you go to Publix and you go and look in their section where you find sauces and salad dressings and stuff,
Right,
you'll
you'll see a
see an
Alessi.
Alessi brand.
Yeah.
Phil Alessi was
they
also
have
one of the
the
big
salt and
boxing
peppers. They
promoters there.
got seasonings. They got oil.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you go to anybody that is Black Cuban,
Mm-hmm.
they keep this shit in their house, and they will go down to Tampa. To where's my? Oh Lord, what happened here?
And in video.
No. Look. Wait a minute.
Can they hear us even though they can't see us? All right, well,
my feed just went off.
all right, so that's her feed, but it's somebody's feed still going, right?
Everybody else's feed is rolling.
Everybody's feed is going, so we're gonna keep it going. You know, we're gonna take a pause for the calls in a minute. Now, next time when I come on the show, we got to have like them ring girls.
What a ringer, huh?
You know, in boxing they got the ring girls.
Like ding ding ding. Okay.
Yeah, because I need somebody to bring me my drink.
Your feed went out.
Y'all say about Joyce Dupree.
Joyce Dupree, that's my
Check
mama.
my
We call her
phone,
Saint
'cause
Joyce.
I don't know what's going on.
What did y'all say about her?
Who asking this?
We didn't say nothing about
We
you,
didn't
mama.
say anything about you
They say they love you. And
because that's all they do is love each other. Now I tell you something. They the most lovingest people in the world. You'll kiss a Cuban family 12 times before you leave. Everybody's gonna love you. Everybody is gonna kiss you, and sometimes 2 or 3 times through 1 hour. And they gonna feed you. And if you anything like Aunt Joyce, she gonna say, "Baby, you don't want that? Okay, let me fix you something else." And how do you beat that? And if she can't fix it, well then we'll go out and get it.
oh, they real accommodating.
Oh no. You have no idea. And very clean. Very, very clean.
Hey, my house was clean.
Huh?
You want clean today?
Your house. You a lie? You a lie? Y'all should have seen Reed bathroom.
Now I'm gonna tell you
Ain't got
something.
one ring
See,
around
we
it.
started off. We were supposed to talk about crackheads, and but I want to make you mentioned clean, and it just reminded me of something. And with some folks, they might not see the connection. It's just in my head.
Oh, wait a minute. Cause Mimi had, what's it called? Coming and had cleaned the tub and shit yesterday.
Who had somebody cleaning the tub?
I'm
In
gonna
her
tell you.
house.
Now we done owned a couple of restaurants, and the people that clean them restaurants the best is niggas that's done been in prison.
Yeah, that's true.
How you know that, Eureka?
Because they have to survive down there, so they used to getting by with a little bit of nothing. So they make that shit work.
And you got to do work.
Yeah.
You know, you working while you there.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, when you talk about prison reform, when you talk about giving people a second chance, when you talk about all that
prison
stuff,
reform on here.
well, what you said, your people be on the news.
Yeah.
Some of them niggas either transitioning their own paper.
Everybody.
They done bonded out. They probably watching your show. Was
From live.
hey man,
From the street.
if you know that one that you know just walked out of Fulton County,
Right.
you know. But when we talk about prison reform,
See, that's a deep ass conversation.
well, let me
'Cause
tell
we
you
don't
what
even
just
know
happened
what
today.
reform is.
Let me just happen what just happened today. See, about a
Change.
year or two ago, about a year or two
Don't let
ago,
them use you.
Change.
the city council of Atlanta decided they was gonna make a misdemeanor if you got caught with a joint in the car, right? Gwinnett County just did that today.
So you can get locked up with a joint.
You won't get locked up
Oh. Well,
for
for
just
all
simply
my
having a
for
joint.
all my people out there that have glaucoma,
City of Atlanta say they getting out of the prison business.
Yeah.
which I think that's pretty smart. But you just wait till that train goes to Buckhead.
Yeah, that train ain't. Well, the train already go
If
to Buckhead.
you let them go,
Train ain't going to Alpharetta is where the train ain't going.
It stops at
however, comma,
Abernathy and turns around.
But now we got
That
to be
way.
real about why that is.
why?
Now let's talk about this now.
Oh Lord,
Yeah, he right because I would have a problem if the bus came out here.
I got a problem with the bus coming out to my house.
Well, the bus is one thing.
I can't.
It tap your damn
MARTA
streets.
moving Africans
Rapidly through Atlanta.
Exactly.
See, when that gets to North Georgia Mall or whatever that is out there, when
What's
you
it
can
called?
when you can get
Chico,
folks
what's
out
the
there
name of
a
that
lot
thing that
and
they call
quick,
out there?
that's different than a bus. That's different than a bus. So if I can stuff 500 niggas on a train and move them out to the Mall of Georgia, white folks gonna start losing their mind. Because here's the thing: you gonna have your car up on some bricks.
You gonna have to who?
You gonna have your car up on some bricks in the driveway.
Fix their car in the yard.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have a little grill
A little grill. I like that.
about the size of Big Mama ass on the front yard cooking that one little piece of chicken. All right? Why you sipping on?
I'm not have to go with you on that, bro. All black folks don't do that. out
We
there.
don't do that.
Nah, we
All
take care of our properties depending on how if we buy a property, we own it. We generally tend to take care of it.
However,
I like
comma.
that particular point.
However,
Yeah.
We
comma.
own it,
Yes.
and
How-
that is key.
Okay,
Yes.
however,
That is
comma.
key.
And we gonna have to buy out there. We ain't
But
gonna be
if
renting.
you are at the night's
ain't gonna be
end
no Section 8 out there.
But here's
on
what
Fulton Industrial,
I
you
want us to
got that
start
little
doing.
bit
Though.
ass grill on the balcony that Lucky talking about.
Here's what I want us to do, though. We got to stop moving out there and buying houses. We got to rejuvenate and build the house we want in the neighborhoods that grew us up. We got to stop moving out there because we taking our money, our resource, our talent to enrich other folks' neighborhoods instead of the neighborhoods that grew us up.
And shout out to Doug High for making everything illustrious here in Atlanta. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
Move on to what your topic is.
Crackheads.
So we're gonna talk about
Who
things
are
that make
they?
Yeah,
And
but,
what makes a crackhead?
and what makes them smart? We love crackheads.
Film
Y'all
at
figured
11.
out. They are
Crackhead
typically
Olympics.
They are typically the ones that will be the first ones to speak up after the funeral and say, "Do you remember when?" And that crackhead will give you everything you thought you didn't know about whoever done died. You know that was your daddy. And then your mama be like, "That nigga smoking crack." That's still your daddy. Ain't got nothing to do with me smoking my pipe. Okay, you ready? All right.
By all those different ways, you done seen people smoke crack.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this.
Okay.
All right. So things that you should pay attention to when
I
you
saw a
see
nigga
the
try to
crackheads.
smoke crack with a regular pipe, one of them sophisticated shits.
You did this?
No, I saw somebody try to do that.
I was about to say Aunt Joyce is watching.
shit
You don't
didn't
wanna
work.
talk about that. Okay. So here's the thing. If you see a crackhead, Eureka, walking fast, then your ass should probably start walking fast too. Okay? And let
I
me
don't
just
know about that, because crackheads
bullshit.
just walk fast, period.
No.
They got somewhere to be. They just
If
can't tell
you
you where it is.
If you see a crackhead running around here, like all of a sudden he just hit into a high sprint walk, that nigga knows something.
You might be still.
Still in hell. He about to, look, he either seen Popo or somebody with a gun, he getting the hell on.
Or somebody he broke, whose house he broke into,
But that means, no.
which ain't got a damn thing to do with me.
No. The problem is, and this is what I'm trying to tell you, look, a real crackhead knows his neighborhood. He knows his community. And his community and neighborhood, they know him.
Right.
I mean, you got to be
So I had a
considerate.
cousin of mine that had a girlfriend that when we got out of high school, she ended up being a crackhead.
Oh, Lord. You want to name that person? Or you don't want to go there?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that.
Okay.
But they was on my daddy's side. Of the family.
Cousins with crackheads.
So what you realize is that there was a particular period of time when a lot of things was just real new to everybody.
Make crack like this. Ghetto dope.
And you had a lot of folks fall into crack early that wouldn't have fallen into crack
Had cocaine.
10 years later.
If
Because
cocaine
it
hadn't
was
got
still
so
new. They really didn't realize.
how to cook it.
No, they didn't realize just how deep it was going to drag them.
No, I really think the cooking of the cocaine, it changed the game.
Well, it made
Sugar
cocaine
Hill ain't called Sugar Hill just because of Sugar Hill.
Well, Sugar Hill, New York was called Sugar Hill because that's what all the rich black folks live.
Well, it's still sweet.
But when you, hey man, crack gave poor and regular black folks an opportunity to experience cocaine is what that was.
That's exactly what it is. So basically, cocaine is the brand and crack is the generic. Meaning the difference between Coca-Cola, no, Dr. Pepper and then Dr. Thunder. It's a difference. If you go to Walmart, they got a Walmart brand called Dr. Thunder. And every time I see that in somebody's house, it's fake Dr. Pepper, but they call this shit Dr. Thunder.
Well, let me tell you what liquid crack was. Cisco. Hey Nick. Cisco. There was a drink.
I know what Cisco is.
Cisco was liquid crack. Cisco was outlawed in a lot of states.
How you know, Reed?
Oh, Cisco will put you on your ass like nothing you ain't ever drank
I don't
before.
do that. I don't do that.
You can't even find Cisco no more.
Oh. Okay.
Cisco have you running across the interstate trying to get to a bathroom real quick. I know because I did it. And Nick was driving the car.
Right. Right. He done talked the whole damn hour.
Let me tell you something. I can talk to myself for an hour. So
I believe that. I believe that dumb shit. Nick, don't be hanging out with the wrong people. I done told you about this.
Man.
Okay, wait a minute. If you see a crackhead chilling, but still looking around like he awake, kind of like one of them type deals, then you need to go into the very opposite direction of this motherfucker. Because he's scouting out to see who he gonna ask money from, who he gonna steal money from, or if his dealer is having a great day.
See, y'all don't want to talk about the ugly part of crack.
What's the ugly part?
That dude that you used to know that was, on point with everything.
We gonna talk about him.
And before you know it, he
Let me
around
tell
there
y'all about a
providing
crackhead
services for crack.
let me tell you something about a
That's some
crackhead
sad
that was
shit there,
at some
boy.
point
That's some
established.
sad shit.
Let me tell you something. Ask a crackhead, what did he used to do back in the day? He gonna let your ass loose. Let me tell you what he gonna say. First of all, I'm an Archer Eagle. He gonna check you with that. I can't respect nothing but anybody that went to Archer High. So first he gonna tell you he an Archer Eagle. Know that. Then he gonna tell you he almost ran the ball so far, they
Shout out to the Jones boys on Auburn Avenue that ran the numbers, Archer High.
Who? Oh, yeah. This family really is. Okay.
Well, we do.
Y'all, yeah. What'd they do, Reed? Okay. Moving on.
Smile in your face.
All the time they want to take your place. Okay.
What they do. Don't
Don't
do
do it.
that.
Don't do it. Okay.
All right. If you was a crackhead, what would be your theme song?
Mine?
Yeah, that song that's playing in your head as you walking down the street looking for what you got to do.
My theme song?
What's your theme song? What's that song playing in your head? If you was a crackhead walking down the street.
I ain't gonna lie. For me, it would be Pleasure Principle by Janet Jackson.
No, man. That ain't
It's
no
the
crackhead
Pleasure
song.
Principle. Oh, oh. Yeah. I would be walking down the street in my own head.
You a sophisticated crackhead.
You right.
Man. That's what that sound like.
Well, I will say, I forgot what me and Lad was talking about one day.
Oh.
I was telling him how this lady had smoked crack for me.
if it worked.
crack, and she was smoking crack on a can with some ash.
There you go. That's what I was talking about. How all the different ways seen crackheads smoke crack.
Every crackhead don't use straight shooters, nothing like that. They use whatever they can get.
Right.
That's why a long time ago, people were breaking off the car antenna, but they were smoking dope.
Yeah, car antenna. Yep.
So they was like, why do you know that?
Well,
Okay.
since I asked you the question, I got to tell you what my.
Okay,
If I
what's
was a
your theme song?
crackhead, the song that would be playing in my head is "Bombs Over Baghdad." Because it's so frantic, it's so crazy, it's so all over the place.
Well, then I guess
it
that
reminds
would-
me of how a crackhead's mind might be going.
How is your mind going?
Well, I'm my mind ebbs and flows during the course of the day.
Where you at about right now?
I'm about as chill as I can be without my Tito's.
Okay. And as you can see, we only drink Spanish.
Hadn't thought about that.
Think about it. Every time I'm with y'all, it's something Spanish.
But Tito's is supposed to be real smooth.
It is.
Tito's
But
is good.
but the rum that they give you when you go to their houses is totally different from what you see in the liquor stores. This is rum that somebody in their house done made. And I had some one time. Let me tell you something. I was over there just trying to help out with taxes. Okay.
That was some rum my wife brought back from Cuba, actually.
And you had to think about it.
Yeah.
No, I was like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Like Jangalang.
Jingling.
I mean, that shit is real. Okay.
Who's the best? Who did the crackhead the best in the movie?
Oh, Gator.
Sam Jackson.
I was about to say Gator.
Or Chris
Gator,
Rock.
Gator killed it. Gator killed it. Gator went to his mama said, "Mama, I need some money," and she said, "Oh,
I
Gator,
dance. I do it, mama.
I do it for you, mama.
mama.
I do it for you." And then he said,
Give me some money, damn it.
and she said, "What happened to that color TV I gave you?" He said, "Mama, I smoked it." So you can't get more crackhead than that. And truth be told,
But did he do it better than Halle Berry, though?
okay, because that's what I was just about to say. People don't realize that was Halle Berry's first movie. Spike Lee, she was
Sam
Gator's
Jackson.
girlfriend
In the park
She
smoking crack.
She was
That
the
was Halle
crackhead
Berry.
with him. But this is what I'm trying
What
to
was
tell
the name
y'all.
of the movie, though?
Jungle Fever.
Jungle Fever. That's right.
Nick said Chris Rock was that.
Bullshit. You ever seen? Let me
Put the
tell you
pipe
something.
down, Nick. He's smoking crack while watching niggas talking about crack. I love you, man.
That's so messed up. And if they mama was alive, she would come
Oh,
to me
let me
and
tell you
slap
something. Let me tell you something. You just mentioned my grandmama's sister,
Yeah.
my cousin Nick's mama. That was the most beautiful lady
Yes,
I've ever
in
seen
the
in my life.
world.
All right.
Gorgeous.
At her funeral, Nick's oldest brother Mike did her eulogy, and part of what he talked about was how proud he used to be of how beautiful his mama was.
That's right. She's gorgeous. Oh my God.
Lolly Cox.
Like, oh, and then they got all these weird names. Dahlia.
Dahlia. Dahlia was a very beautiful woman.
Very beautiful.
That
woman.
was also my grandmother's sister.
But they were very, and they like to take
But
pictures.
none of them were crackheads. So let's get back to the
Okay.
point.
That's right.
Let's stay on topic.
All right, let's
If
say.
I'm gonna be here, we gonna run this. We gonna rob this train, right?
Okay. Let's say you were broke. Your stamps ain't came in and your check ain't quite hit yet.
You get your math and you
Find
you go get it.
yourself $30. Go to the crackhead closest to the Walmart, preferably Union City or Vine City.
It's got to be Vine City. Union City too far out.
Not for some people.
But why we saying shit at the same time?
Vine
Yeah,
City.
Union City too damn far. You got to get on the interstate.
All right, but then what I'm trying to give him $15 up front and a baby bag. You give him the list of items that you would like to get out the Walmart. You stay outside in somebody else's parking lot. Let's just say KFC. And my favorite thing to do is when you get a crackhead and you want them to go grocery shopping for you, you got to have some things in place. you got to have some wet ones, some Fabuloso, and some Clorox. Okay? And what you do
And
is
a half-used Q-tip.
yeah. And because you got to get under there. And you got to sprinkle it on their hands, but do it gently and slowly so that it could saturate whatever's been touching it. Then you get the wet worms and the Q-tips and you wipe everywhere. Go all the way to the elbow, okay? Because if they pick up something that's kind of big, you got to consider that too. Give them the money, $15, and a baby bag and your grocery list, and tell them to go into the Walmart. I guarantee you that if you tell them it's $15 more waiting when he come out, you will get everything you asked for on that list and everything you didn't want on that
But
list.
see, we getting real deep in some crackdom. Yeah. You know, this is the, you know, this the bougie crack.
Who you know got stamps or ain't got stamps or ain't got them yet? See, that's the problem, look. You don't know nobody with stamps.
Well, currently I don't.
Rick, how many people we know with stamps? Good 2,500.
Well, I was
Allegedly.
at,
I think they shouldn't have started making crack because my auntie used to sniff cocaine, and I knew it was a bad idea when she accused me of wearing her leotard one day.
now the
And
difference.
she said, Victoria came in and she said, Leon, you been wearing my leotard? I said, what?
See,
I'm like,
a crackhead wouldn't have questioned you. They would have just bust you in the head with a pot.
That's the difference. See, she was on cocaine. So she said, you been wearing my leotard? There's a dick print in it.
Oh, Lord. And what you say?
I said, you get your monkey ass out my motherfucking face. I'm 15. I'm already off the chain. Can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, you got on a shirt to say police.
I'm finna kick you down the
Right.
stairs.
So now you grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
At 15, on the west side.
Uh-huh. I was already graduated out of high school.
All right, now, who? What gang was running y'all neighborhood?
Vice Lord.
Vice Lords. All right.
What was running your neighborhood
My
in
uncle
Tampa?
was one of them top Vice Lords. So
All right.
I ain't had no issues.
All right.
That's good, Lamb. I'm
My
glad.
uncle used to walk around with a suit, with a briefcase, with a 3-piece suit on, with his 357 in the briefcase. Nothing else.
Cold.
Now, one thing I learned about being in
Reed.
Chicago during that
Cold.
period of time, at one point in time, between the disciples and the Vice Lords, most people would not know, certainly during that early 80s time,
Just
how much
looking out of the
property they
window.
own.
Right.
A lot of people
Watching
didn't
you.
know the gangs, certain gangs in
I
I
Chicago
mean, stores they own,
owned a lot of
Thinking
property.
about
Yeah.
liquor stores.
good times.
My name is Larry.
Taking
What
your
song was
head
that?
above water.
Right?
And I'm a cancer.
Temporary layoffs. Good
times.
times.
That's Capri Green they used to show.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Uh,
A nigga pulled a knife on me over whose down it was.
oh, damn.
Yeah, we was playing basketball.
I don't know what that
And
is.
so we was playing basketball. One game was over. I got the next game. It's my down. Nigga came with me. He said, it's my down. I said, it ain't your down. I saw you when you got here. I was already here. He pulled out a knife and said, nigga, it's my down. I said, I know I'm running with you.
We on the same team.
Right. I know I'm running with you.
Chico, do not feel indulged to do this because if the two of y'all are
Let me
together,
tell you about your gut ass
Hell
husband.
yeah.
Hold on one second.
here it comes.
Let me tell you about your gut ass husband and his daddy. Because shout out to Uncle Otis. I love him so much. We was at a park playing basketball. Me, my Uncle Otis, and Chico. And
In Tampa or here?
no, in round the park, round the corner from where Chico lived.
Oh, okay. East Point.
And we get into a fight or get into a scuffle. I won't say it didn't turn into a scuffle because somebody, Uncle Otis jumped up, and I don't know if Chico remember this, but Uncle Otis jumped up and dude bridged him, got up under him, didn't give him room to land. He
Y'all started
fell on his back. Chico had that nigga by the neck just as soon as he hit the ground. That's your gutter husband.
I can see it too.
It must be in the water because they all seem to act alike.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to tell you.
They act like,
yeah, they
I
act.
could have sworn Chico said, I don't know what I'm gonna say, and I could have sworn he just
Oh,
said,
they the
what we
same
gonna talk
one.
about?
Right. I mean, but wait a minute.
They like just twins. All I said,
You have no idea. This is why
they even sound alike.
This is my complaint. So at the end of the day, just to let you know about Lucky, Lucky's the same damn way. They are two totally. They are actually the same version of each other.
I believe it.
And let me tell you something. Come for one of us.
I don't dress as good as Chico though.
Come for one of us. Anybody in our family, just come for one of us. Or even act like you about to come for one of us. These two goons and his daddy, done. Alex, his daughter, is gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous.
That's the gangster in the family right there.
However, because of this gorgeousness, she has stalkers. And what does her daddy do when he finds out she has a stalker?
Well, she was in school in Florida at the time.
There you go.
Yeah.
No. What did you do?
We had to do that a little different.
What did you do?
I mean, you know,
You
know.
do like most Cuban fathers.
Well, I went to her apartment. He was there seeing a girl that lived in her apartment. He wouldn't leave. You know, now I had just had knee replacement surgery about a month before that. So I drove down there 7 hours, and I had to go have a talk with him. And after that talk,
Poor thing.
I guess he didn't.
He didn't find interest in Alex.
Like he understood. You know.
Well, what were some of the things that you kind of hinted toward, allegedly?
Well, you know, his girl was standing there. She was a semester or two from graduating, but was on that list like like they might be getting ready to suspend you out of school because of your bad grades. What do they call that?
Probation.
So she was on probation in her senior year. Because she's a white girl from Boston that came down and wanted to get with her brother and gone online and met the most knucklehead dude she could find. You know, she like 20, he like 30, got a couple kids and a felony, and he's living up in the apartment where this girl and my daughter live and don't want to leave. And my daughter's like, why should I be uncomfortable living in my place because this nigga don't know how to go home. Right. So I had to come explain to him how, you know, we pay rent there, you know, and if his fat ass girlfriend, stupid girlfriend, you ain't gonna be calling my girlfriend stupid. I said, nigga, you just heard me. I just did. But here's the point.
That way.
But just to, you know, Nick, I don't know where you was, man. I don't know where you was. But so we you know, had some people talk to him and understood the
ramifications,
why this wasn't gonna work and so
how you knew his family.
Yeah. I sent him a picture of his grandmama's address and his social security number and his work schedule at Burger King. And so yeah, he eventually
let loose.
You know, he
had
to buck up. He had to represent. You know,
I got a picture of your grandma.
And he tried to attack my daughter at a ATM.
Oh, I don't know if I knew this.
Yeah. So that was about 2 weeks after.
Don't say too much. Statute of limitations.
Who said that?
Let them mother free.
Okay.
Okay. And there we have it.
So yeah.
Statute of limitations.
Then we all sang Kumbaya and moved on.
And
Yeah.
as usual on Figured Out,
And
we
all
take
this was alleged.
penitentiary
All this was alleged anyway.
chances.
But just to wrap that up on a different note, my daughter went down there for school, and I was telling her this the other day. You got to encourage your children. You got to let them know that you're proud of them, and you got to let them know when they have won. So when she decided, because she was traumatized by that experience, and when she decided she wanted to come back home, she wanted to come back to Georgia for school, she was real upset and she was crying and she said, well, I act like, you know, I feel like I had failed and this. I said, well, hey, here's the point. The objective always was to finish school. The objective wasn't to finish a particular school. Right. Now, she had been down there 2 years. When she transferred, the Georgia State didn't exactly have the same program for what she wanted to study. So she had to pick a new major. 2 years and a semester, she finished her 4-year degree.
She did.
So I
And
was
she's
reminding
extreme-
her
and
just
got
the
all
other
the
day.
chords on.
I was reminding her just the other day. When you, and a lot of young people need to hear this sometimes, because sometimes you got to take a step back to go forward. Sometimes you got to make a lateral move to go forward. But as I always like to say, the game ain't over till I win.
We can do that.
You know, which was something I had to tell the old boy that didn't want to get out of the apartment.
That's what I say too.
Yeah.
Game is over till I win.
Right. And so but you got to be able to, first of all, stay in the game. You got to be, hopefully, in her case, and thankfully so, she had a support staff enough that could help keep her in the game. You know, mentally, emotionally, financially, you know, she has a support. And so a lot of our kids, we was talking about your viewers, some that are on the news, you know, sometimes we get there because some people don't have some of the support they need.
No, that's true.
And what we got to realize as a community is you ain't got to be the kid in my house for me to support you. I had a kid down the block from my house stole a scooter off my back porch, screened-in porch. Kid across the street told him. But before I could figure out what I wanted to do, I saw the kids out there playing across the street in the front yard. So I went and got my shotgun, went in the front yard, and pow, pow, about 3 times in the ground. And then I looked at him. And then I went in the house and put my shit up.
You was just testing it because you had cleaned it.
I just wanted to know, right? So then one of the kids came over, and I respect this kid. He was like 8 years old. I loved his balls because he came up there and he was like, "Hey, so-and-so got your thing down there down the street." Now, I can look at that 2 ways. That little nigga going to be a snitch when he grow up. And he was just deciding at that moment,
Like, look,
let me
that shit
keep
ain't
that
got nothing
shit
to
off
do
of
with
me.
Right.
All right? But talking about how we support our kids. So he went and got the scooter from the kid, brought it to me on my front porch. That's how you know you're dealing with kids who's born from crackheads, right? So he put the scooter on my front porch. He brought it back. I'm like, bro, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right?
How you know that mom was a crackhead?
You gonna give me a reward?
Here's why I know that. That little nigga, about an hour later, came and stole the shit off my front porch again. Like, damn it, this is mine. I took it. All right? So then, the little nigga came over and said, he took it again. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I got to respect this little ass. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can't let you roll on me like that, right? So I called the cop. Cop came to my house. I said, look, let me tell you something. Here's what happened. I ain't trying to hem him up. I ain't trying to muss him up. I said, but I need him to walk away from here understanding this shit ain't gonna go down like that, right?
After you done shot your shotgun in the ground.
Well, that kid wasn't standing over there, so that might have been one of the reasons why. But so the kid goes down there and shows the cop where the kid lived. The kid and his mama pull up there, and the kid get out, and the cop is talking to him, and then the cops talk to him, standing there. The kid said, I'm like, no, let me talk to him. I said, hey, man, let me tell you something. This is my damn scooter. Who the hell is you to come on my damn property and take my shit? Because I had already asked someone, I said, I'm finna talk to him a little
and
rough.
Denise was probably like, go on and let that boy have that
I'm going to tell you about her in a minute.
Go on, let
So
that
then
baby have that
I
scooter.
tell him, I said, and let me tell
This
you
my
something.
damn scooter.
You could be walking around my backyard and I don't know if it's a kid or whatever. And you get shot around here trying to act like, you know, you run something, you a thug. Little nigga, you ain't no thug. I said, now he getting ready to take your little ass to jail. Your mama gonna have to spend some money to get you out. And you getting ready to go out of here. He started. And the cop was looking at me. He's like, he turned with his back to the kid. He says, you know, we can't. He 10 years old. I said, he don't know that. Right? And
What
so
does his mama say?
the mama was like, yeah, see, and I told him he around here running with bad kids. No, he ain't running with no bad kids. Bad kids
He
running with
done
him.
stole it.
His kids running with his bad ass. So the cop says, well, Mr. White, do you sure you want him to go to jail? I said, I don't know. Let me ask. I said, son, let me ask you something. You ever done this before? No. I'm thinking to myself, you lying your ass up.
Right, because you stole the scooter
I said, but
twice.
I'm going to tell you what, and this is what I'm talking about, so how we support our kids. I said, I tell you what, I'm going to ask the officer here not to take you to jail. If your mama can promise that you ain't going to be wilding out and acting crazy and, doing all this kind of shit no more. So he looked at his mama, and he's like, okay. I said, I don't want to catch you on my property no more, or we're going to have a problem, and I ain't going to ask your mama nothing, right? So he said, okay. And he was getting ready to walk away. And I said, son, let me tell you something. Come here.
Sound like Brown.
I said, let me tell you something. Take the scooter. You can have it. I said, and let me tell you something else. If you got a problem, if you want something, if you need something, come knock on my door and ask me about it. Don't take shit from nobody. Everybody around here, ain't nobody on this block. Ain't nobody on this block that's not going to help you.
Right.
I said, but you can't be acting like that.
What did he say?
He was like, okay. But he was crying. He was doing that cry.
What did Denise say? Lucky, why you do that to that baby?
Let me get to Denise right now.
Lucky,
When my little daughter was about 3 years old, my wife is on the phone with her mama one Saturday morning. My little daughter comes in there and says she wants some pancakes. And I said, tell your mama to get your pancakes because I'm trying to sleep and I'm aggravated as hell that your mama got a cordless phone in her hand and she choosing to have a conversation with her mama while I'm in the bed trying to sleep and that cordless phone could go downstairs. Right? So I told my daughter, tell your mama. She brushed her off. So then my daughter stands over me because she's like 4 or 5 years old and she sits her butt on my head and bounces and said, I want pancakes. And I grabbed her by the arm. And I grabbed her by the wrist and I twisted her wrist. I said, get the hell out of here and don't ask me about this shit no more.
This is my baby, Lauren.
So she walks out the room and at some point she grabbed either my cell phone, house phone or something, and she went and got under her bed and called the cops on me.
Makes sense.
All right? So however many minutes later, I don't know that she had even done that, but I hear that boom, boom, boom at the door.
We getting that a lot lately.
Now, everybody that's done lived in certain neighborhoods know that kind of knock I'm talking about.
You do.
So as soon as I heard that knock, I knew who it was. So I go downstairs in my drawers. I put my foot behind the door and I cracked it open.
Thing.
And I'm looking at the cop like, yeah, what? He said, we got to call, is there a Lauren in the house? I said, yeah. He said, well, can I come in? So I let him in. He said, we got a call from Lauren and,
she wants some pancakes.
She said that you hurt her.
Because she wants some pancakes.
I hurt her, and I told him what all that happened. So he says, I said, Lauren, get down here. Lauren comes down, and she got her head down, and he said, young lady, do you know what an emergency is? And she's like, and so he starts telling her why she should not have done what she did. But while she's doing that, talking about Denise, my wife starts coming down the stairs. She got her hands up talking about, I'm the mother. I'm like, girl, are you kidding me? Ain't nobody finna snatch your ass up out of here. I'm the mother. But I will tell you this. Since she kind of looked white anyway, I guess she was doing us all a favor. Like, hey, man, I ain't R. Kelly up in here. He ain't keeping nobody against their will up here.
I'm the mom. And I'm going to make those pancakes as soon as you guys leave.
So then the cop says, well, okay, I see everything all right. I said, hold on. And I said, I want all of them to know, Lauren, you getting your ass whooped as soon as he leaves. And I want everybody in here to know, y'all ain't safe. Just because the cop here. And then the cop turns with his back to them and says, come on, man, wait till I leave.
Lucky.
Because these kids growing up in the area where they calling the cops on their parents.
Okay, however, let me say this. His girls are so cute and so gorgeous.
Yeah, but they're gangster.
I could not imagine spanking them or even telling them to do something.
My
No.
youngest daughter, about a
She's
year ago,
an
told
angel.
me.
She's an angel.
She told me. She said, "Does Mama dress you that way so other women don't want you?"
She wouldn't
That's
say
what my baby
that.
girl told me one day.
Do your mama dress?
Does Mama dress you like that so other women don't want you?
And there you have it.
So
Carly Long, your baby, what you tell
Carla Long is my baby.
She called my son. That's your child.
Oh.
and let me tell you why it's your child. Let me tell you why. I told my wife that last week. I say them your girls.
They look.
Because
just
if you
like-
decide to leave me tomorrow, they going with you.
that's not what you said when you said you was going. If Amber Rose came your way,
If Amber Rose came my way, Denise, no. I'm gonna be missing for a little while. So don't start shit in my house or something.
he said Amber Rose come my way. He told my Amber Rose come my way, and I'm gonna be like, Lauren, this your new mama.
This is my mama. Hey, mama.
Lauren, this your new mama.
You got to show him. Girl,
I mean, kids is different.
Was he little and cute?
he gonna call his daddy, he gonna call his mama, his grandmama, and I call
Val?
all them folks.
He ain't called Val.
No,
Val, her mama.
I called all them folks.
She
If
called
you're
by
with
first
me in the car and in the house, and said, let me tell you something. You don't call them and tell them shit when I tell you something.
Right.
That's Rika.
Right.
When I say whatever it is,
That's what it
your
is.
daddy can't do shit, your other grandmama can't do shit, and your mama can't do shit.
That way.
Get your motherfucking ass in that room, and I'm done. That's it. You can't call
But she
nobody
talking
over
about right now though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, she talking about right now. Calvin grown.
Yeah, Calvin is 10. And he gonna
Calvin,
10.
Carlos' son.
Oh, Carlos,
Yeah.
and then Calvin.
I only had one son. My son likes girls. So he got 3 children.
Okay.
And they so cute.
Okay.
And Carla Long is one of them. And she tells me what time the show
Well, I'm
starts.
gonna use this opportunity to tell my wife about,
Oh.
little man. Because if I,
This is also something that's pretty prevalent in this family. They find out about different children later on in life.
sorry, mama. I didn't just say that. Jacinta did that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Craig said Amber Rose with or without the makeup.
She what?
Amber Rose with or without the makeup. That's Allie.
Who said that?
My friend Allie. She want to know, would you do Amber Rose with or without the makeup? It wouldn't matter.
Nah, because, she made how she made.
It's the
It's everything.
I will say, I think her shape is her. I don't
Yeah.
Oh no, I believe that that's
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I believe that that's her. I believe
Yeah.
that that's her, and I believe that
She go a little hard sometimes, but,
now the worst thing about Amber Rose is her teeth.
Really?
Yeah.
She's got veneers
She got 'em?
now, yeah.
Oh, well,
For
go
a
on and get
little
yourself,
bit, yeah.
girl. Go on and, girl,
Yeah.
with the bag. I
So
see
let-
She should have an ear. She done.
No, when she was with
sucked him out
Kanye,
somebody.
speaking of listen. When she was, wait a minute, when she was fucking with Kanye was supplying her
Allegedly.
brother, allegedly, with money to buy El Coco,
Allegedly.
allegedly. And they teeth used to be messed up for doing that allegedly.
Allegedly.
From Chicago, I used to do shows with Frankie Knuckles.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's my
How, did,
boy.
how does that fit into this?
I
record?
just-
Because that's
She said Kanye.
Oh.
And Kanye did some work with a friend of mine named
He did?
E. Smooth. He was
Who
a,
is
he,
E. Smooth?
he was a producer out of Chicago. And Frankie Knuckles used to be a weekend DJ on BMX.
Weekend, but yeah, he used to be Weekend from a Friday Night Live. Ain't no Saturday Night Live. Ain't no Jive Chicago Dance Party. It was just all house music.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
and-
I'm going to say something that pisses all Chicago people off because they end up thinking I'm crazy and nobody agrees with me. House music started in Detroit.
No, it didn't.
I know.
It started in New York.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that.
No, it didn't. It
Let
started in
me
New York.
house you.
With,
Let me house
and,
you.
Detroit. Now, what started in Detroit was
Ballrooming.
no,
No,
more,
go-go is DC.
techno. Techno music started in Detroit with the
well, what started in
UFO.
Chicago? That stepping.
Steppin' was in Chicago, but yeah, house music started. House music started in New York, and then Frankie Knuckles moved from New York down to
Chicago, right?
And that's how I
one
got
of the
lit.
things that I was gonna say, you know, I say that to be facetious sometimes, but it took off in Chicago different than it took off in New York.
Yeah.
It was just something different. I was very fortunate. I love the history of music. I love, you know, messing with music, and I was
As
very,
a documentary on the history of music.
I was very fortunate to be in Chicago when house music was taking off, Florida when bass music was taking off, and then this unique sound in Atlanta that really blended R&B with bass music. You know, people talk about Atlanta sound, but luck of the draw was I ended up moving here in '87, and that
your
sound
life.
just started to germinate in a way, but bass was already there. So what Jermaine Dupri did was he added more of an R&B, melodic, harmonious type of something to bass.
808.
And, well, that 808 changed everything.
What you say?
Tell him about the 808. He like, what?
That 808
Oh, that
changed
808
everything.
is everything.
Because we didn't have the 808, we had a Roland T102
Two, yeah.
that we
yeah.
used.
I was trying to
I don't
And,
even know what that
it
is.
got you a similar sound, but that 808 was just that thing that.
explain to this nigga whoever Jay is.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, we-
you don't know Edward J.
King J.
Boy, if you get you an Edward J mixtape,
King J.
baby.
See, that's
Meet
one of
me in the
that's one of the
basement.
three kings of music of hip hop in Atlanta. All right, and you get with him, you get with Kilo, and
That Kilo cold.
who else I'm missing?
Still, you can play
But-
Kilo's albums forever, and they will never ever outdate you.
Look at how many, like, you know, just did a concert last week. He's still getting paid. The
Who,
same
Jay?
old
Let me tell
Oh,
you
Kilo.
something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. He was at the East Point
That
Wednesday
boom,
wind
that
down.
boom.
What you say?
What
I
that
was
that
in the
boom.
line for the bathroom, and he came on stage. I left. I hate to hold that.
Yeah.
He kept saying, what's up with Kilo?
Oh, I love Kilo.
You know, I did
Kilo
an
the
article
dream.
on the Georgia Sentinel's website that said that if you don't think Atlanta is the hip hop capital of the world, the entertainment capital of the world, read this. So that's the headline for the article. But what it talked about was how one of the things that the article just talks about how from music to movies now, Atlanta controls the board.
Yeah.
And a point that I make just in conversation, not necessarily in that article, is that one of the things going back to the start of our newspaper, Georgia Sentinel News, our point of difference, because Atlanta Voice was already out. The Atlanta Daily World was already out. The Atlanta Inquirer was already out. But these were papers that were created out of the civil rights movement.
Yeah,
And they had an inner city Atlanta base.
they did.
By the time I came here, DeKalb County, Clayton County, Douglas County were areas that a lot of people was moving to that was from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So when we
if
started
if-
our paper,
right, because
that
if
was
you
where
are,
we distributed.
If you are somewhere and someone says, "Where do you live in Atlanta?" and somebody say Stone Mountain, you automatically know they not from Atlanta.
Right. Except for
Because we
recently.
don't consider Stone Mountain
Right.
Atlanta.
But so what ended up happening was, in order for us to get an audience, even in Atlanta, that was maybe already reading the Atlanta Voice or whatever, was we covered a music scene that nobody else was covering. I started a showcase along with a guy by the name of Darren Glenn, who's James Brown's cousin. And Darren Glenn and I started a showcase at the second, what was Diamonds and Pearls on Cheshire Bridge. So on Cheshire Bridge right now near 85, there's a Publix
Right.
there. And there's a Atara movie theater.
Yeah.
Well,
now, hey.
in that corner,
In that parking lot.
was a club called Diamonds and Pearls.
But in that parking lot.
And we started a showcase. And that showcase was one of the first music showcases of Atlanta. So we had TLC before Chili was in the group. We had Jermaine Dupri at 16 years old with a group called Silk Times Leather.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. So when we did that showcase, we did the showcase for two reasons. We were able to monetize it because we had record labels paying us to host the night. All right. So a lot of acts would get up and want to, and in the audience we had people like Kevin Wells, we had Joel Katz, we had a lot of people that was just in the music industry, the regional hub that it was for different labels. And so when we did that, it gave us our own content that nobody else had. Crisscross before their single came out, that kind of stuff. And so able to make that jump, and I bring that point up simply to say, from the time that the group ABC put out the song Aisha, all right, to Crisscross, Jump, Atlanta has been in the top 20 Billboard charts, 2 and 3 and 4 groups ever since. No other city can make that claim. All right. Then you put the TV and movie industry. Now the top two industries in the state of Georgia, well, top 3 industries in the state of Georgia is agriculture, entertainment, and automotive.
However, that parking lot.
Hey, let me tell you what was famous about that parking lot and Diamonds and Pearls.
Tank
There used to be a guy named James Mason that ran that club.
And there used to be a girl named Jacinta that ran that parking lot.
James Mason was who the white attorney Tokars hired to kill his wife.
Hey, allegedly.
Allegedly. That played out in court.
I know people who was a part of the Fred Tokar investigation, and they are innocent.
So James Mason, the manager of Diamonds and
Lies
Pearls,
that Fred told on people was terrible.
Hired to find the guy.
And Eddie Lawrence, shout out to Eddie Lawrence. Hey, you should have a cell phone by now. Shout out to Eddie Lawrence who took the charge. But I know a lot of people that was involved in that particular scandal, and they innocent. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I was going to say, okay, Mr. Price said that y'all was fucking my pimping and said I love that.
And what?
Nobody even know that what FELA stand for. Really.
Right. Did you know that that's what FELA stand for?
What?
Forever I Love Atlanta.
Nah.
But you're not from here, so I get
Not
it.
from here.
But
I've been here older than some of your listeners.
Yeah, because you are older than Allie.
I've been here since '86.
Boy.
He was trying to make sure he was here for free.
Okay, so wait.
Like,
No. This goes back
Shout out to the original 112 at Disco Kroger. All right, that wasn't no bigger than this basement.
Baby. Let's
This
talk
is
about
not a basement. This is an undisclosed location.
This is
Yeah,
an
it is.
undisclosed location. Yeah, I was throwing them off though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
However, the parking lot of that particular Kroger was ran by your girl Jacinta. Even back in my young tender days of that time. Oh, if you went to 112, baby, roll up on me. Shout out to Wolf. Wolf died. Do you know who I'm talking about? Wolf was Diddy's right hand back in the day.
Yeah,
he got shot
Got
in
shot
front of
by
112.
Yeah,
And this was
I remember that.
was this
I remember when that happened.
right.
Yeah,
Okay, so Jacinta.
that was the beginning of the end of 112 at that location.
Yes, it was. And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something else about that time. I was standing outside. I can tell you what I had on. I had on this shark blue leather jump, real tight This before y'all had these.
Did you have the quarter length boots?
No, none
Right-
of that.
right above the ankle?
None of that. I was rocking stilettos then.
All right.
You understand me? And they look like hugger shoes. However, they weren't. I got them at the Greenbrier over there. Yeah, at the shoe store that's still there at the Greenbrier. And they was cold. So look, them shoes was clear, and they was cold, and Wolf was looking at me, and I was looking at Wolf, and I knew that he was gonna beat me later. But Wolf didn't get a chance to do that.
He gonna beat people.
He looked at them pants. He said, "God damn!" I said, "Beat me later." Wolf didn't get a chance.
We gonna buy beepers.
I think we should sell them shits again. Them shits was convenient like hell.
Hey,
I mean,
but what movie had the beeper / limo / restaurant business?
yeah.
Baps. At the very end of the show, when they got the money, old boy Pierre said that's what he was gonna open the beeper / limousine. No. Baps. Halle Berry again.
Halle Berry
Put
was
Decatur
in
on the map.
And they said, "Booyah."
But everybody was already wearing shit that they were wearing. She didn't make them wear it.
No.
No, she just exposed the rest of the country of how
And the open face gold, right?
that was already gone. That was already played out.
Yes.
When they did it. But see,
Yes.
this is the thing. Get back to Chicago right quick, because it's got a connection here. When I first moved here, Oprah Winfrey came down and did a show
In Forsyth,
about Forsyth County
Right.
and how racist it was.
right,
And Hosea Williams
is.
did a march there.
right.
My problem with that was
You had a problem?
Cicero, Illinois was the most racist place I've ever been in my life. Am I lying? It's all Mexican now.
See,
All right.
It was Italian back then.
But Cicero, that's right, Cicero, Illinois got started because going back to the 30s and the 40s, all of Al Capone's people, they pioneered that little outskirt town, Cicero.
Allegedly.
No, it's true.
Yeah. So like you got a
don't want
little
none of these
you got a little
people to come
town
see
like Pine Lake, Georgia, over in
It's
Stone
dead.
Mountain. That's how Cicero
got
was.
people.
So all of his
They dead.
people, they didn't live in the city. It was they had made it too hot. So they lived about 15, 20 miles outside the city in this little town, Cicero. And what made it so damn racist was just because of how Italians were about everybody else, not just black folks, but everybody else. All right? But here's the funny part. So when you look at a place like Stone Mountain, right? The rebirth
grandma
place
told me don't go out there
of the
no more.
Klan.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing but niggas out there now. And in Cicero, Illinois, ain't nothing but Mexicans over there now.
Si se puede.
So, si se puede.
Si se puede.
That's right. And that's a term that crackheads knew.
What,
They
si
ain't
se
saying
puede?
that. Yeah, because they knew they could. Crackhead could.
Okay, so si
He
se
could
puede
anything.
means yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Si se puede.
I know, right?
All right, good people. We didn't get a good
We
chance to
gotta go.
get into.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
We got to go.
Yeah,
Two.
yeah. And I know you could probably go for another 3 hours. Yeah,
Yeah, y'all can turn the
So-
lights off. I'll keep it going.
yeah.
You know? Hey, like Craig, all I need is a little lighter with that flame. You know, put my cell light on. Keep it running. Keep it running, Jay. Keep it running.
Okay.
Keep it
Another
running.
great day at Figured Out Tuesdays. We've learned a lot.
Figured Out Tuesday.
We figured some shit out that we didn't know. We lucky that we had lucky.
I'll be back.
Uh-oh.
I
Chico
want
said the same thing. He loved it when he got
I
back.
want to start I want to make my announcement here that I'm
Lord.
looking to start a church. The church of need more. Cause I got to have some more.
Ga.
I'm gonna get me a 5-button suit, some gator skin shoes, a helicopter.
Snapples.
And we gonna do it.
Snapples. It sure lit them snapples.
Got to have it.
Got to have it.
Them annihilated gators.
And some good cologne. Starter pack. All right, people, we will talk about crackheads next week. So that you can get your full run and understanding of how crackheads can educate you on certain levels.
Well,
We'll
we
also
got to
be
talk
sh-
about reformed hoes too.
Captain D coming, Captain D coming, Captain D coming.
We gonna ride out on Uncle Luke.
Captain D coming, Captain D coming, Captain D coming, Captain D coming, Captain D coming. Lift that, give it that beat, that too hot, suck the front seat. My brothers know there ain't nothing but so good. Trick daddy in the house, girl is better watch him out. C-E-R-T and yours truly,
I like
Captain
mine.
D.
Never home movies in the street home. In the skirt with the butt cheeks showing, looking fly with the hammer nails done up in. And that cool son of ones I like to run up in. Like big booty ones, cute faces. Living, running, thinning on the first day basis. Keep the fella stand when you land on the camera. Or scary stuff to get the brothers looking at you. When the wrong says she can show off a tattoo.